Coming up later in the program, we have another of our Ruth's Chris sizzling shots. A high five to a local golfer who made a hole-in-one. That's coming up a little later in the program. The sizzling shot is brought to you by Ruth's Chris, 6 PPG, place downtown, home of the sizzling steak done right. So the question is, did Ohio State do right tonight? Their investigation came to this conclusion, quote, although neither Urban Meyer nor Gene Smith condoned or cover up the alleged domestic abuse by Zach Smith, they failed to take sufficient management action relating to Zach Smith's misconduct and retained an assistant coach who was not performing at an appropriate role model for OSU student athletes. So in other words, it sounds to me like they knew what was going on, but they didn't do enough about it. Isn't that the charge that a lot of universities will say is zero tolerance, Gene?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't understand this decision in the slightest. You know, they took a really serious situation, pretended to look really seriously at it, and decided they would do essentially nothing about it.
All right, let's go to the Lions because they are buzzing tonight. We'll begin with Waylon in Washington. Hey, Waylon, how are you?
Hey, hi, Bob. I really appreciate you. You're amazing. And tell Gene I said hi, too. You know, yeah, you really are. You're something else, man. Not a big deal. It's just, I like Clint Hurdle. Okay, I like the manager of the Pirates, and my buddies are like, he's not good, but I think he's great.
What would be your expectation of a manager of a team who just signed a 4-year extension and hasn't? The last 2 years have not been good, and this year may be worse, as it turns out, given what was at stake.
It's kind of like your backswing in golf. I mean, you got to get it going on.
All right. You get this sort of analysis right here on the Sports Call, Gene. You
can't get it anywhere else.
I don't know what to say, so instead we're going to go out to Harry in the Westview. Hey, Harry, how you doing?
Good, very good. How are you guys?
All right, what's up?
Hey, I didn't know about the Urban Meyer situation. Can I change my subject?
Sure.
Okay, my thing is, God, this world's so full of hate. I mean, I know you're a positive person, Bob, and I know Gene is too. His columns aren't very hurtful, and when I hear decisions about this, it's just horrible.
Horrible in what way? You said full of hate. What are we talking about here?
I mean, you let a guy, all these. I mean, it's like another Penn State situation. You're letting these guys get away with things that are just morally wrong.
Well, thanks for the call. Appreciate that, Harry. I will say this. Urban Meyer was well aware of what Zach Smith was capable of because he did it when he was at Florida. And when he moved on to Ohio State, he hired him here, Gene. So he had to know of a lot of the stuff that went on prior to whatever happened in Ohio State.
Ohio State did too.
They all knew, and yet they hired him. And not until, and the other thing that I didn't understand is apparently Courtney Smith text messaged Urban's wife routinely with pictures of her bruised body. And Urban says he had no idea. Do you buy that?
Yeah. I hope they go 0-13.
Cut to the chase. Let's go to Mike in Squirrel Hill. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Yes, I have a question. According to the Post-Gazette, the Pirates are about 300,000 behind attendance from last year. Do you think if this continues for the rest of the year, that nothing's going to say he has to cut payroll again because their attendance is down? That would be a terrible thing.
You're going to see
payroll again.
No, I think if anything, he's going to be forced to go the other way, much like I think they were forced to do something they are very uncomfortable doing, and that was trading top prospects to get established players. I think they did that. No small help without the Pirate fan base who were really not happy with the way things had gone, Gene. I think that played into those two decisions, and I think it will play into this year's offseason because I think they will spend more.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think, after 3.5 months of seeing such terrible crowds at the ballpark, that when they got to the trade deadline and found themselves within striking distance, they really felt compelled to act, and it was a great thing to see. Now, it hasn't worked out exactly, but the fact that they were willing to do it, I think, means that they're going to be willing to do it from here on out.
We have this from Dave Cornelius on Twitter. It says, you guys need to understand the ex-wife in this Urban Meyer case is not credible. That's why police investigator never charged the husband. Lots of bad journalism and reporting. The issue, though, Dave, is really not that. It's this stuff was going on. There was a couple of protection from abuse orders filed. Those are on the record. And when that happens, I think you have to be aware. The whole issue comes back to this was going on. It should not have gone on. And if it did go on, it should have been, dealt with at the time, Gene. That's what I think the bottom line is.
Absolutely.
So anyway, let's move along. Who do we got next? Pete. Squirrel Hill, what's up, Pete? How you doing?
Hey, Bob, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Bob, on any level, crimes against women and children are incomprehensible and unacceptable in any society. But my question is, what is going on in Michigan State? 16 players under the football coach accused of rape, 4 under the basketball coach, 1 who he made an assistant coach on his staff accused of rape, and those guys are going to keep their jobs. Bob, you're talking rape. What is going on with this country? Thank you.
I don't know. I mean, that's the question here. Again, I think there are double standards in sports, and it seems like those who have success can get away with more things than those who don't. I don't know, Gene, what else to say about that. And I know that situation is ongoing over there. There's a lot not to like about Michigan State right now with everything that's happened there.
Absolutely. The whole gymnastics thing and everything else. And don't forget Ohio State's problems with the wrestling program.
Right.
The Big Ten's having a very bad year.
And when we go, David in Finleyville is next. What's up, David? How are you?
Hi, Bob. Thanks for taking my call.
Anytime.
How are you tonight?
Good, thanks.
I want to ask you about the Steelers. Do you think this team is capable of taking the next step, going to the playoffs and going on into the Super Bowl? I'll hang up and listen to you.
Well, they're certainly capable. They're expected to. They expect themselves to, Gene. And, whether or not they get there, we'll find out. New England always is in their path, and they have some other teams, too, that could be. But they have as much talent as anybody, and I do think their defense in time will be better. I think they have young defensive backs who are gained experience. I think Joe Hayden, by virtue of being here for an entire offseason, will be better. I don't know. What's your take on the defense?
I really don't like the defense. I think this is really, probably the poorest core of linebackers I can remember seeing with the Steelers. They really have no real threat in that position. The game has changed so much toward the offense that I don't know that it matters that much. Are they capable of winning the Super Bowl? Yes, they are. Will they? Probably not. You could say that before any NFL season, I believe.
Yeah, you can. But I agree. I think the linebacking situation is a concern. I think Vince Williams is good, but I think he needs someone just as good, if not better, next to him in the inside. And I don't know if we've seen that person here with either Tyler Matakevich or John Bostic or anyone else for that matter. So they still have a lot of work to do in that department. When we come back, we'll tell you about our Roost Chris Sizzling Shot. That's coming up. Plus more of your calls right here live on Pittsburgh CW.